Hello, how you doing? I'm Craig Parkinson. You are listening to the Two Shot Podcast. Sit yourself down, pop the kettle on. We're going to have a nice old chat. Who's it with this week? I'm going to tell you right now. How the devil are you? It's Thursday. It's the podcast. How's your week been? Good? You got over the 2-episode week last week. We're back to normal now. It's back to every Thursday. And this is episode 60 with Holli Dempsey. More of that in a sec. Now look, I don't do this every week because I don't want to bore you or burst your eardrums. But you know that we do this podcast for free and it's funded by you. It's helped out by you, the listener. Now we have a Patreon site, so it's patreon.com/the Two Shot Podcast. Go there. If there's anything that you can do to help, every month we give you 4 free episodes a month. And if you like it, if you love what we do, apart from telling your mates and getting them to come and listen, a few quid here and there helps everything. So if you want to become a Patreon member, who knows, you might even get a beautiful badge or some other beautiful things that are coming your way, because it's a two-way thing. We give you free podcasts. You give us a few quid every month. We also like to give you little extras. Go there, take a look. But for now, put your feet up, get a cup of tea, whatever you want to do. This is episode 60 with Holli Dempsey. Now, you may know Holli from the Ricky Gervais show Derek. You may have seen her in the current series Harlots, which is on one of the ITV digital shows. I should know that, didn't I? And also Hulu. I know it's big in the States. It's with Samantha Morton and Holli. It's a really, really good show. And she is an absolute delight. Myself and producer Griff, we went to London. We managed to get times and dates sorted. We've been talking about it for ages with Holli. And we got a cup of tea and we cracked on with the chat. So here it is. This is episode 60 of the Two Shot Podcast with the very lovely Holli Dempsey. I'll see you at the end.
It's the intro sound.
It's the intro sound, always. We said we'd do a little dance when we actually got this together, didn't we?
Oh, yeah?
We've been trying to get this together for a fair few months, haven't we?
Been playing hard to get.
I know, but we're here now.
Yay.
How are you?
We made it. Yeah, good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. I've wanted to come on for ages.
I didn't know this little dungeon was here. No, it's a nice dungeon, seeing as you can't see it.
Don't call it a dungeon,
Okay.
Holli. Just call it like an artistic basement, which is what it is. There's lots of art hanging on the walls.
That's good PR, that.
Yeah. We get this space for free, you see.
So don't call it a dungeon.
Don't call it a dungeon.
No, it's gorgeous. It's a lovely red dungeon full of paintings. I'm trying to I like dungeons.
Freud would have a lot to say about that, Holli. Come on, is this the way we want to start the chat?
I thought we started.
Of course we started. How's things? Are you well?
Yeah. It's one of those, I think that tone of voice gives it all away though, doesn't it? I notice it in my actor friends when they go, yeah, I'm fine.
Why do you feel that you're putting on a brave face or something at the moment?
Yeah, possibly. We do though, don't we, I think?
Yeah, I suppose you want to seem positive or have a positive sort of mindset, even if things aren't going particularly
I think you
great.
have to, because the fear is constantly what we do and what we go through. So, yeah, I think you have to keep positive. Otherwise, it's pretty easy. A couple of weeks out of work and I'm itching to do more.
Really?
So,
only a couple of weeks and you're...
Yeah, but most of us have to suffer longer than that before you get... you can have... If you're doing well, you could have 2 jobs a year, perhaps. And that, to most people, that's crazy. But also it's the perception, because a lot of people think you're doing well and see stuff coming out. I think that's often the way when you've got projects out, you're often out of work, but it feels different, so everyone's like, oh, you're doing so well at the moment. But you stopped shooting that a year ago and you're just at home scratching your bits.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, of course you've got to be positive, but you've got to be honest and sort of true to yourself at the same time, haven't you? And if you are, we all have bad days, and it's all right to go, do you know what, I'm having a terrible day, actually.
Yeah.
And things aren't going particularly well.
Yeah.
I don't want to say going to plan, because I know loads of people don't really have plans.
No, and especially in our world, you can't really, because those plans will go out the window within hours, you don't know what you're going to be doing. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's free, but if you get a call or you get an audition, everything changes.
Well, exactly, because we, case in point, we were going to record this earlier this week, weren't we? And then all of a sudden you texted me and went, Craig, oh no, I've got the scripts. And of course, you put food in your belly and pay the rent. So those things, you've got to go and get those jobs. Yeah,
and you need those people around you that understand that don't get annoyed when for the third time you've let them down, or because and for me it takes preparation. If I've got a job on Friday or an audition on Friday, you need days before that. Some people don't relate to that, but that's why your circle becomes smaller, I think, because some people get it and some people don't.
Have you had that? Have you had people that just sort of don't get it?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, from a distance, maybe it's something they thought they wanted to do and they think they know what the world is. I think that's often the way. They think they know what it is, so they think that you've changed. There's always, that sort of line, oh, you've changed. It's like, yeah, of course I have. I've grown up. I'm developing. I'm evolving. I think change is good, but people see it as, this is years ago. I think I've kept a tight circle for a reason, because you don't have time at the best of times to see as many people as you want.
And of course you need that support and good solid friends around you.
Yeah.
Who sort of get you and understand.
Yeah, ideally if they're actors and non-actors in our business, I think that helps, because there's nothing like sitting down with another actor who really gets it and just, you don't sound wanky when you're talking about the process or how much. But then you need your friends who aren't in the industry as well, people you've grown up with. But
also for yourself, it's nice not to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because you go, fuck, I just need it, but I'm fucking sick of it at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. I need to have a rest from it.
Yeah.
Within your own head, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think we're one of the industries where you don't mind talking about work. So a lot of people head to the pub at 5:00 and don't you dare speak about work after that. Whereas I think all of us, we're constantly, our whole lives are striving to get that next job. So in a way, I'm always up for talking about what we do, because it's so diverse as well. It isn't work per se. It could be, whatever story, whatever crazy tale or hardship, good times. I think it's such a varied career full of such different people that it doesn't really get boring in that sense. And
do you still live in the same area that when you were born?
Yeah, born and bred.
Which is?
Even now I'm doing a northern accent.
I know.
Don't know how that comes out.
People do tend to do that sometimes when they're talking to me.
That's my comfort zone though, for some reason.
Is it?
Yeah. So if I have to tell a family member or something what I don't like about them, it often comes out like this, because it's a little bit easier to handle then, isn't it? But I've got nothing to do with up north. So yeah, East London, born and bred.
And whereabouts?
Stratford.
Yeah,
before that, Manor Park. To those who know will know. Manor upon the Park. It's changed. It's crazy changes that I've seen over the years. Well, I've lived in Stratford since I was 9, and it was always the place you didn't want to live in. When we moved there, my mum opened the newspaper and there was a big red circle basically around our area, big crime hotspot, and my dad's van was nicked on a weekly basis, and it was full. Yeah, it was crime. My brother was mugged at gunpoint and stuff. It was a very, it was a bad sort of area, and now it's Olympic Village, it's E20, it's apparently Hackney, a lot of it now, and I'm like, I don't think that's Hackney. But yeah, so it's changed in loads of good ways, but also, it's just crazy to see Westfield's landed there. It was just the area no one knew of. So even years ago when I started acting, I'd tell people that I was born in Stratford, and they're like, oh, Upon Avon, lovely. And I was like, no, bang, bang, E15.
Yeah, the other one, the rough one.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Londoners are quite special in their own little ways. We've had to sort of, I think you're quite adult from a young age, because you just grow up right in the centre of everything going on. I suppose growing up in the big city, you kind of sometimes maybe forced to grow up a bit quicker than what you should be, depending on the areas, Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I think it's a good thing. It makes you who you are and builds you up. And as an actor or an artist or whatever, you do have a wealth of life. I saw a guy wearing a T-shirt the other day saying, come to London and see the whole world. And I really, agree with that, because that's my favourite thing about growing up in London. I've been so spoilt with such a rich mixture of cultures and people growing up. And often people have to learn at a later stage about loads of different people and where people come from and race and creed and religion. But I just did that before I knew I was doing it, which is amazing. Because it was always there on your doorstep. Yeah. And how was it? How was growing up? How was family life? Yeah, it was all right. My mum and dad split up when I was about 14, so that's I guess, tough because it's a tough age just before you become a woman or a man. And my brother was 5 years older. So that's not easy. But, you know, sometimes it is a better thing for people. People see it, a breakup as a bad thing only. And it's not always. It's, you know.
Yeah, they can't see the positives.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes people can't work together under the same roof. But, you know, it's not the end of, we still see each other and we're still a big extended happy family now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But of course you you weren't mature enough at 14 to sort of see that.
Yeah, true.
So was it hard, the breakup? Did that affect you and your brother?
Yeah, probably. More than we probably know. Because like you say, at the time, you just deal with it and you get on with it. And also you don't know if it's any different from what's happening to other people. And to be honest, it was a lot of people's stories as well. I remember taking the mick out of my friend because his parents are still together today. And I was like, oh, aren't you embarrassed about that? Your parents are still together. That's a joke. But like most people I know don't have that situation. And it's, you know, it's quite common. And it's much better. When my mum was 7, her dad died and she went back to school and the kids just took the piss. That's all they knew what to do because it was weird, because everyone else had a nuclear family. So to them, it's like, Judith's dad died. And it was a joke. It was like something to take the piss out of her for. So maybe growing up in such a diverse, and it's not just that, but like families are different now. It's not just the nuclear family, which wasn't always good, but it was just the norm and tradition, which, like I said, isn't always a good thing.
As you say, it can be a positive thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If something's not right and there isn't a bit of change, then it's just going to explode and it's going to hurt more people. Yeah,
and they argued a lot, so that was the end of that, which is good. That's a good thing, so that we're not all, living in that environment. So, it's not always a bad thing.
But still a good relationship with your mum and dad?
Yeah, and I still live, because it's London life, so me, my mum and my brother all live together. Because again, I live in the kind of area people taught me to make money and get out of, and now suddenly all the people who are making money are moving to my area, which is great and lovely, but I want to stay there now, so that's the...
Oh yeah, so you don't feel the need to get out anymore?
No, it's not that. I guess before it was like in East London, this is why it's pros and cons, because a place like East London has always had so many artists come out of it because it was cheap rent and, big, empty, cold, damp houses, but you were able to do your art and, have a roof over your head and a bit of support and time.
And also they're telling stories from in and around that area.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they know.
Yeah, and often they're poverty-driven stories. It's what most culture and art comes out of. So now I think that is really, I don't feel the soul as much. In a lot of London, it'd be like Soho, where we are right now. It's different to what it has been before.
Yeah,
good and bad.
I've seen Soho change over the years, and my friend Tanya, who owns the Maison Bertaux, the tea shop above us now, she's been here for years and she's seen Soho change so much.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. And it'll be in good in some ways, but often what people flock to these places for is for the culture and the art. And you will lose that if you stop letting people... So if it's just filled with rich people, then they're often the ones who pay for art and who pay for... you need it from the bottom and you need all of it in one, so... When I was younger, you imagine making money and moving to somewhere like Richmond, perhaps, where it's always been quite expensive to live and it's beautiful. But if you can't do that, you can still make your art in East London or somewhere. And that's not the same anymore. No. Just the postcodes and prices are just, we all know this, it's not a new story, but...
No, it just seems to be going up and up.
Yeah, and the areas I've been brought up in, they're not desirable. And now suddenly it's the same property, the same area, and it's over £500,000. The area that my brother never let me go to, as growing up, just like, you've got no business going down there. Now people are moving there in their droves to be near Stratford Station.
Yeah.
Just think, okay. It's funny how the goalposts move.
But change sometimes isn't necessarily a bad thing, is it?
No, exactly. There's good in it. That's the only thing, is that we wanted a bit more. We wanted safer streets. We wanted more police. We wanted a bit more, things back then when I was losing friends or whatever. And now it's here because there's money. So that's the only irk, I guess, is that, the help comes when the money's there. But
how was school?
It was all right. It was interesting. Just one little tower in the middle of Forest Gate. It's called Stratford School in Forest Gate because it burnt down years ago or something. But it was just a weird one. So we had St Angela's to the right and St Bonaventure's to the left. East Londoners will will know what I'm talking about. But they were the schools that people knew of, so people didn't even know. I'd say I go to Stratford School, and they go, which one? St. Bond's or St. Angela's?
Right.
Or Sarah Burnell. It's like, no, Stratford School. Yeah, which one? They're just like, really? We're right in the middle of you guys, and we wear bright purple blazers. So you should know us. You should have seen us by now. But yeah, we kind of just kept ourselves to ourselves, like 90% Muslim, I'd say. I was one of like 4 white kids, I think, in my year. Billy, Charlotte, Stephen. I think that was it. Big up you lot. but yeah, like I said earlier, that's such a rich thing. We would have questioned things so early on and battled them out, and had that before you even say the age of 10. You've worked out, and you've got respect for other people, and you've learnt things about other people, and then you get on and realise, oh, we're all the same, really.
And it's the norm. It's just natural.
Yeah.
It's always been there.
Yeah, and I feel like we were coming on leaps and bounds in a way then, because we were all from the opposite ends of the world. My best friend was Vietnamese, my other friend was from Gambia. It was just a huge array of people from around the world. And we were fine. We genuinely were. And I think anyone of my age, a bit older, like I'm reading a Carla's book at the moment. Oh, what a G. But like he said, if you're that much older, you would have really felt the scars, especially, say, as a black man. You would have felt the scars a lot more. Whereas that, say, 10 years younger, we were in that real comfortable, lovely situation where we were all just learning about each other and getting on. Of course, there was issues. Say, in my pocket, it was probably quite... because it was so diverse that, say, racism wasn't an issue. I'm sure in other schools you will have. If you're the only black person or the only Asian person, you're going to have suffered some prejudice.
Yeah.
But I do feel like we were making steps then. This is before the whole sort of Brexit, and people who were forced to be a bit quieter before because your voice is bigoted are now able to come. And it just feels like, oh, God, we as kids were so much further than the nation seems to be now. And yeah, it's a weird one to come from my little corner of London and be so a part of so many cultures, and then seeing the world now, just learning really slowly what it is to be. And we're all different, but that means we're all the same. So yeah, it's weird. I feel like we were so evolved by the age of 10 or 11, and now the world is trying to catch up, I guess.
But happy times at school?
Here and there, yeah. Like I said,
I mean, it's
growing
school
up in
life,
East
isn't it?
London,
I mean,
yeah.
there's just so many ups and downs.
Yeah. I mean, you get a spot and it's in front of the whole school, If you, anything that happens, you share it, which is amazing. It's kind of bonding, and that's where you really cut your teeth as a human, I think. If you can get through school, the rest, in many ways, it's easier being an adult in lots of ways. But, like I said, my area is quite violent. So there's a lot of, things happening around, and just like is happening still to this day, which is, I think it's hard. It's beyond hard. It's tragic and violent, and people need to do something. I don't know what, and that's the problem. Something about what's happening with young people, because, they need more opportunities and something more to live for. Otherwise, if you've got more to live for, you won't act like that.
Did you have opportunities when you were at school? Were you sort of busy doing sort of extracurricular clubs and things like that? Were you keeping busy? Yeah,
and I think that's a huge testament to me and all of my friends. So I joined a local youth theatre in Stratford, just performing in front of people and embarrassing yourself and then getting back up and doing something else and making people laugh and then not making people laugh, and just all of that. And I was always at the back of the room. I was always very quiet and just observing everything. I wasn't I wasn't the shining example.
Were you quite quiet as a kid?
Yeah. I can chat now. I've saved it all up, you see. No one would listen to me when I was young, so now look at me. I've got a podcast.
Was your brother quite quiet as well?
Well, I think we kind of flipped in a way. He, as a real young one, he was the hilarious dressing up. He'd just disappear and come back dressed as a bean sprout or something mental. And then we always thought he'd be the actor. He's 5 years older than me. And then he's a drummer and a producer. So he's always been in the backstage kind of thing. And I took over. Someone, Jan at the Theatre Royal, she just told me one day that I think you'd be quite good at TV because you don't fill the stage like some kids do. And that was really useful because I thought, so I can do it. Just maybe, I didn't have the voice and the lungs and the comedy of some of my friends. But yeah, I was acting my arse off at the back of the stage.
Did you feel all right when she said that?
yeah, it kind of gave me a bit of focus to think, I don't feel like I'm excelling right now, but there is something you can see that I could do. And it's all those tiny little drops that take us where we are now. And yeah, even my mum said a few years ago, she was like, you know what, love, I never thought you'd make it. I was like, oh, cheers, mum. Now the checks are coming in, eh? But she was, yeah, coming to watch me once a month or whenever we'd have a little showcase, and probably just thinking, oh, bless her. She's not, you can't even hear a word she's saying. But then you find what it is, what your niche is.
Yeah.
So, because I couldn't sing, dance and act, you think, well, I'll never make it then, because you've got to be a triple threat. It's the kind of thing people make you believe. And then you find your own tiny little niche, whatever that is, and you can do something with that. So you need to know that, though. Someone needs to tell you, I think, at that age.
I think it's important to know your limitations, because then you've got the strength in that. And then it's always important, you know, the only way to learn is to fail. Failure is amazing.
Yeah. Especially if you can do it at that age, because you really do.
Yeah, if you can do it at that age.
Yeah.
And, you know, get through that war zone.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it is hard, and, you know, kids are hard.
Yeah, definitely. And Stratford East has been always notoriously a very honest audience. So any comedian who's done, because we have comedy nights as well in the restaurant, any comedian who's done or on the main stage, it's just very honest, especially back then, which was great. If they liked you, you'd hear it, and if they didn't, they'd tell you. Yeah. And there was one time we did this show, and it was a free show, so we were about 15 and we'd put on this show. We'd been working on it for months, and some of the girls had gone out to get lunch, and they'd seen all the boys from our school and my best friend's school, all the top bad boys of the school, and someone had not let rip, that's the wrong term phrase. Plot twist. Someone had told them that there's a free show on tonight, so, you know, just free says it all. So all of them came down and filled the theatre, and I was on stage playing a little Victorian wife, and all I could hear was, you know, just all your peers that you care so much about what they think. Now, not so much. But then it's like just the worst thing in the world, and they're shouting my name out and they're saying things and I can hear them clearly. And I remember seeing like a real fork in the road in front of me that day, just going, I'm never doing this again. Why would I put myself through this?
Oh, really?
And everything that did go wrong. So my drama teacher, Carlos, big love, he stood up and was like, no, I'm not having this. Turned the house lights on. He was like, get them out, ushers, what are you doing? They've worked hard on this show, we'll take it from the top of the scene. Fine. So this scene, I'd been packing a suitcase with my husband behind me. We're like 15, so it's quite sweet to, you know, watch all this. And I come back on stage to redo the scene and my suitcase won't open. So even that's just one of those things like, oh, you know I'm meant to be packing this suitcase. But I just used it. I used my frustration with the audience, with my husband and whatever. And like, it's one of those things where you stayed in the moment. The audience are appreciating that and just see what you've been up against. And as an actor, that's kind of the best thing you can do. Theatre's never going to be the same as it each night.
No.
So if you can hold it together, and that's basically our job. But yeah, I did go home that night thinking I might never do this again, because that was just the worst. At that age, it's the worst thing that can happen. But yeah, I'm glad.
It's awful at any age, but especially at such a young age.
Yeah,
like that.
knowing you're going back to school tomorrow and God knows what they're going to say. This is my little secret hobby that I do outside of school. But then I remember thinking on stage that, do you know what? If I do ever do the National or something, I'm never going to quite know how bad I've been until I read a review, if I choose to or not, because it's going to be a sort of light smattering of applause, whether they liked it or not. Whereas Stratford is, you shit, get off stage. It's very Shakespeare.
On the plus side, at least you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So is that what it was then at that age? Was it just a hobby? Is that what you saw it as, or did you see it?
I think I definitely, probably the age of, after a few shows there, then I knew I have to do this only. Because you can't, of course you can do it part-time and you can have another job, but if you really want to make a career of something, you have to go full hog, don't you? So I think I did realise about 16, this is what I want to do. Again, nothing going for me for it. It wasn't like everyone around me was telling me, you should do that, you're great. It was just a weird inner confidence voice saying, you have to do this. And I remember actually thinking, I don't know if I'm any good, so I'm sorry if you've all got to watch me, but I really like this so much, so I'm going to have to keep trying.
So you didn't have that confidence then yet?
No, not at all. I don't know if I've got it yet.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because confidence sort of goes up and down.
Yeah, definitely.
You can put on this veneer to other people or project that you are, when inside you're just sort of crushing.
Yeah, and I think you're as good as, say, your last job. So if people love and think that I nailed Vicky, for example, that's great, and that will live on in Derek. That will live on, but then you have to do that again, or you have to do it with someone else, or you have to, you know. So yeah, confidence. It's a weird one because at the time when you're doing it, I'm not sure if you can know how, because you don't know what the reaction's going to be. So say Derek now, I know that, well, it's like Marmite. Some people hate Ricky and hate what he does before he's even put anything out there, and other people really adore it and really get the show. But that means that, you know, that was then, that's done. So you have to try and get another. Yeah. Which, yeah, it's a weird one in that sense. A lot of my friends are able to get, say, job satisfaction, and they're able to get good at their job. I don't feel like we can, ever, maybe.
In what way?
Like, if you're working in an office and your jobs are lots, but they'll be similar, you get good at it, you get practiced. And, of course, there's lots of things we can get good at and we can practice. But in a way, no job's really the same, I guess, as an actor. So.
No, that's true. But do you feel that you do learn from job to job, though?
Yeah. No, that's definite, yeah. And also just how to... So not just the acting bit, that's so small often compared to the waiting around, the meeting the people, the getting the job in the first place. So, yeah, I do think learning how to manage yourself on set and around people and... Yeah, and you can learn an accent, but... You still have to make it different to the next job you do, I guess.
Speaking of accent, your accent, I don't know loads of people from East London, so I don't know what an East London, but you've got a very sort of soft... Is that a soft East London? Or did you used to sound different?
Oh, yeah, mate, I was fucking well. You wouldn't have recognised me. Honestly, you don't want to make me down a dark alley. I never sounded like that.
You never sounded like that? You always sounded like this?
Well, my mum's Welsh, my dad's Irish. So it's not like, we're not sort of like Bow Bells hailing from there sort of thing. And actually, like I described, so say 10 minutes down the road, Canning Town, it's very white, very English still. So that would have been a lot more of my friend who used to hang around there, she was a lot more real Cockney, old Cockney. Whereas my area in Newham and Tower Hamlets, and there's such a Muslim, Pakistani, Bengali, African, Caribbean, such a diverse mix that our East London accent was just a real amalgamation, I guess. It'd be like there'll be black culture, there'll be a Pakistani accent, and it's my favourite thing. Do you know what I mean? That, to me, that is growing up, and that is the voice of East London to me that I remember. And it would just be different for different people. So say the Whitechapel Road was very Jewish for years, and now it's very Muslim. So yeah, and East London, that is real East London, that bit. And it's just evolving, which is what East London's always done, I guess. It's always been immigrants coming in and out and making it what it is.
Of course, accents change from one end of one road to the... You go around the corners, people sound completely different, don't they? Yeah. Wherever you go in the UK.
Definitely.
I'm sure around the world.
Yeah, and even, say, a street slang from South is different to a street slang from East growing up. It was always... Yeah, so you're right, it can be very different. And my East London's quite specific experience, whereas 10 minutes down the road is Essex, so that's a whole different accent. And yeah, I remember my mum always wanting me to keep it, to be slightly well spoken, because I always used to go, Mum, I'm going to the theatre. She's like, where? Theatre? I told you, the theatre. What? And I think just in acting terms, she'd always thought, if you want to be an actress, I want you to be able to have a range. And I guess quite old-fashioned as well. Even a working class actor from back in the day was well-spoken and well-trained. And obviously I've hit another curve where people they wanted Vicky for Derek. They want untrained. They want someone who's kind of real, or a real tongue, if you like. So we're not quite the same. We're more of a mix now. But I think I always knew that I would be pigeonholed a little bit. I was playing gang girls and things that I'm not even very good at, but because I can say in it, that people imagine that, oh, great, she can do that authentically. Or,
Or so they think.
Yeah. And I really like Danny Dyer, but I just imagined playing his daughter forever sort of thing. Haven't played it once, I'd like to, just once before I die. But I want to play, and I know how hard it is for working class people to break out of that and play up. It just barely happens. So in a way, I just wanted to be a bit, androgynous. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. Just wanted to be a bit more, neutral. But now it's sort of sad. I get into a car and people are like, you're not from East London. I am. But as an actor, I think you'll just get one type of role, which is a shame. As if there's one type of person in East London.
Well, as if there's one type of person anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but I think I've always wanted to be such a blank canvas, because I sort of pride myself on being a bit of a comedian, and I can look so different and lots of different accents. So in a way I never wanted to I didn't want to enter and my agent Piers Nimmo was so good at making sure we didn't stick in a box, making sure we, got out of that. And
was your mum and dad fully supportive when you were younger, when you said, "Look, I think this is what I kind of should be doing"?
Like I said, my mum didn't say then, I don't think you'll make it, love.
Yeah.
I was so glad that she said it once I'd started doing it, because, I think those things can really make a difference. But to be honest, everyone who told me I'd never make it, they thanks guys, because that's always in the back of your head going,
and did you
1
have
in
a
a
bit
million.
Of that? Who was saying that?
Just anyone, all the teachers.
So you voiced it at school that's what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I knew. And from when I started at the youth theatre, I already knew that I'm kind of making a career already. This isn't a school play or anything. This is, it's a real main stage and it's a big deal. So, I knew I wanted to do that then and follow it. Yeah.
And how were you academically? Did you have something to back up? Or were you just going, no, I'm putting all my eggs in this? Yeah,
definitely that. But I wanted to come out with because I know I'm smart-ish generally, so I thought I don't want my grades to be rubbish. I want to come out with something good. I like to do a job pretty well if I'm going to do it, even though you have to do it there. But I wanted to come out with grades that roughly reflected my intellect, but also didn't care about getting the best grades. Because I guess I just knew I'd never pull my GCSEs out for anything, and I haven't yet.
I don't know if anyone that has, really.
I know, but trigonometry, though, when I'm on stage,
it's a very useful tool to have, Holly. We all know that.
Oh, it's mad. Like, people come out, they don't know how to get on the council list. You don't know how to, I don't know, real basic things that people could do with learning. How to do your taxes, how to even read a form like that. But no, let's concentrate on things that most people will never use unless you're doing a further maths degree. But I was all right. But I did know, which is kind of dangerous. I already knew wholeheartedly what I wanted to do. But I think you have to be that strong in it. You can't sort of.
Well, if you're stepping into it, you've got to suit up, haven't you? Because things only get harder.
Yeah.
As whatever you do, life just sort of gets harder.
Yeah. I always thought it wouldn't be that way, but I think it actually is. Because you get older, things more pressured and it becomes a bit less fun because everything is always, I'm just grateful for I'm doing this now. Oh, this is nice. And now you really have to think of it as a job and what can really push you to the next stage. Depends what you want from the industry there. Each of us are different.
Well, of course. And also what you are given. You can want so much.
Yeah.
And you go, well, I'm never going to get that. Or I'm not being given the opportunity for that. And, that's kind of all right if you can make peace with it and not let it eat you up too much, I suppose.
Yeah, and those things change as well. What you want from it changes as you go along.
Yeah, because you change, don't you?
Yeah.
You change as a person.
Yeah.
And your needs and wants change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's just such a tough... People have always said that, and they're right, but whenever I heard 1 in a million, all I heard was 1. If you told me it's impossible, maybe I'd have given up, but it's not. There's 1 in there. So, you really do have to go for it, all guns blazing, I guess.
So what was the next step after school? What did you want to do then? Because you were 16. Did you leave school then, or did you go and do your A-levels? I
did do A-levels, I went to a local college, which I didn't enjoy because I was already, in my head, just needed to get out of there and get on with it.
So mentally you'd already left?
Yeah.
Before you'd started?
Yeah, so I was 2 years there. But again, I'm glad I did that, and I often think back on my sociology or film studies, drama and English language. So I'm glad I did all of those. And maybe if I'd come out and tried to do it at 16, I'd have been still a bit more clueless. So actually those 2 years, if nothing, properly lit my fire. And soon I was out there like a bullet, ready to, attack it. And that bit older as well, so 17, 18, able to plan a bit more than I would have been at 16. And then I got a job in a Caribbean restaurant inside the Theatre Royal. Big up Wills and his family. Saw him yesterday. Gave me some of his secret family hot sauce.
You can give that to me, the recipe.
Oh, my God.
Was it very secret?
Yeah, I don't know it.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Gotta love a hot sauce.
Oh, I know. It's so good. Oh, yeah, but that was one of those things as well that without him, I wouldn't be here. He didn't give me any acting opportunities, but the fact that I could go there, get cash in hand, work a few evenings, and then say to him, "Oh, Wills, I've got a job. I need to go for 3 months." He's like, "All right, you sack yourself." That was his saying, which is great. You sack yourself. And then I'd come back in 3 months and he'd give, my job was there. So that I don't think exists at all anymore.
So that's nice security to have, knowing that you can go and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Wasn't no point of you when you came out your A-levels that you thought, well, I need to go and learn more and I want to go and train and go to drama school? Was that an option at any point? Because obviously, you wouldn't have been able to get any sort of funding or grant, would you?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And even before that stage...
What year are we talking now?
2008.
Right, no, you'd have been...
Yeah, there was a bit of funding around, which is, I'll say in a minute, what helped me get there. But even before that, each audition was £50 to £100 for each drama school. And that is just, to me, it's shocking. Because I couldn't even afford, say, the travel to get to these places. Then the fee to audition, like, I don't know. Well, we didn't have that. So that sort of cuts out people of a low income, which is where a lot of talent is. So it's a real shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just never... From that, I just thought, hold on. And I thought to myself, so if I go to drama school for 3 years, forgetting the money that I'm hemorrhaging, I can do 3 shows in 3 years. So I thought to myself, that's not a lot. What I think I can achieve in 3 years on the streets, in local theatres, doing films with my friends, all of that, and making connections and networking, I think I could get professional in that time. And a lot of my friends had graduated, and still, at the end, they're like, now what? Now how do we start? And I just thought, that's not for me. I know I have weaknesses, so say my voice or body, you can work on things like that. If I had a big show coming up and you really need to work on your projection, or you can do that in the evenings or on weekends. To do a whole 3 years, for how much per year, and then at the end you don't have any guarantee, that to me was just not... I just needed to just go for it. And I knew people who'd done it without drama school.
Yeah, so you had inspiration from them.
Yeah, and just Stratford East was such a hub of talent and people, if you know people. So I did a show reel in my bedroom. I just stuck like a black sheet on the wall. It was my brother's idea. And I'd written these characters and just thought that is surely a better way of getting... I can just send that as far and wide as I want on the internet rather than waiting for a showcase at the end of 3 years to hopefully get an agent. And then my agent, when I met him, he begged me sort of not to go there. And I think as well I was lucky to come
go where? Sorry.
To drama school.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, was it something that you were thinking about doing?
I think I was just still young enough to think. I mean, never say never, but now I would never do it now. It just seems ridiculous. And there's a lot of my friends who've got stuff from it that I won't ever have or won't have now.
Yeah, but then again, you'll have a lot of stuff that they won't have because, we're all individuals and we've all got our own little paths. And
that's what I love about this industry. That's why I'm not knocking it, because it is some people's path and they really needed those 3 years to find who they are. But for me, it was... I couldn't afford it and just wanted... Again, I feel lucky and blessed that I hit a cusp where... So say Ricky wouldn't have liked me the same if I'd come in and I was trained and I was acting. So say for the part of Vicky, that was a really good time where people want to see more real people on camera and stuff. They want to see reality. They want to see real people. And sometimes training strips that a little bit from you. Not always. And again, they'll have other positives. But it just wasn't for me. And I don't like the idea that I've got a book at home that my uncle bought me for Christmas about something, how to get into acting. And the very first page is this man who's got a maths degree. He's not an actor, hasn't been, and says, first things first, if you don't go to drama school, you'll never make it. You might as well give up now. I should have brought it in.
Hilarious.
It's really strong. And luckily I was already doing it and making money from it. So I thought, that's dangerous. Imagine I'd read this when I was 12. And
I think it's really dangerous because it completely cuts off a certain type of person from a certain place,
Exactly, yeah.
So many people just can't afford to do that anymore. And maybe they really want to.
Yeah. And hopefully you can but... I think Judi Dench always talks about how many hundreds of letters she gets begging for help to go to drama school, and she's done it a bit, I think, but she can't help everyone.
No,
and
of course not.
Yeah, and it's a shame that it becomes a rich man's game just by virtue of not being able to.
People have always been doing that. Even sort of, I graduated 20 years ago. People were still writing letters off, and even years before that, they're writing letters off to like the big famous people to try and. Well, I've got a bit of money, but
Yeah, and I guess that was when if you came into an audition and didn't have one of the top drama schools on your CV, they weren't taking you seriously. So I guess it comes from that. Whereas now, I think we're a bit more American in that sense. We're more excited for, right, what have you got? I don't really care where you've come from. We've heard you're great, and what can you give this part? Which is much better. And with the internet, I was able to put my show reel out and find my agent and get some attention. And with that, you can do that now.
So is that easier. How you did it? You just because you're such a different generation to me.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first time me and my flatmate got bloody dial-up internet. Look, I don't even know what dial-up is.
Oh, please. I'm flattered. But I was watching Naked Attraction the other night on Channel 4. Have you seen that? Where they lift up the blinds and someone's just there naked. People know what I'm talking about. It's not a niche show.
It's a very big
But
hit.
it's very much like watching porn in the 90s, because it's all just like, you have to wait an hour before you see the whole thing. It's like, yeah. I do remember the modem. There's nothing...
There we go, that noise.
Nothing more of a turn-off than that noise.
We wouldn't have dreamt about sort of putting things up. And because we didn't really have that sort of the phone technology. It's everything's there nowadays. People are shooting films on a bloody iPhone.
Yeah.
So that's how you did it. So what did you do for a show reel? Were you looking at other people's show reel for inspiration, knowing what you need to do?
I think I did find one lady who inspired this thing, because it wasn't a normal show reel, because that trap of you don't have work to put in a show reel, so you can't get work, so it's that vicious cycle. So I thought, how do I break that? I was quite arrogant with my brother. I was like, listen, Marcus, I've got a CV on the internet, okay? He was like, yeah, but that's paper, and it's just the shows you've done at Stratford. No one in the creative industry is going to be looking at that and going, oh wow. So luckily he was the one who was like, you need to put your face out there somehow. So I wrote this thing called Voices of Love. So it's just based on love and different characters I thought I could play, and then put a big black sheet up on my wall and played all the characters.
You wrote your own stuff?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I wrote it about a year before and then got it together, bought a wig, was working at the Caribbean restaurant every night. So in the days I was whoever, femme fatale, and then I'd come out and get into my gear and go to work and then so I did that over a few days, and that did get some good attention, and say my agent would have heard about me from someone and gone, yeah, and then seen that and gone, oh, brilliant, she's put in that effort to get noticed.
And so initiative. You weren't just sitting on your arse going, oh God, I really want to do it. Were you doing something? You put pen to paper and you went, right, let's crack on.
Yeah, and it was the ripple that was needed. When there's so many people like me, say, trying to do it, you've got to stand out in some way. And I just worked on my strengths. I look back now and I cringe at the video because I could improve it so much.
Yeah, but that was then.
Yeah, exactly.
For then, it was obviously brilliant and what you needed to do. Now, you're on a completely different path.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think you should be. I mean, you'll be a bit cringy, but
yeah.
You should be really proud that you did that.
Yeah. I guess that's just our critique. It's natural, isn't it? If I went, smashed it, 10 years later, still as good as it ever was. I suppose that's,
If you're still thinking that, you're nowhere near as good as you
exactly.
were. I mean, in fact, you've probably gone downhill.
Yeah. So it's good to keep, I can see what I would improve on it. But it was still what other people weren't doing, and I always suggest that people do that. And for someone else, it might be they open with a song because they've got a beautiful voice, and then the rest is really funny. For me, it went down quite a dramatic and sad route because that's what I was writing at the time. So that was my strength. Someone else could do exactly the same video and it would be totally different for them. So, just doing something that calls your strengths.
You're obviously much more confident than a few years back before you did this. Before you did this show reel. Yeah. I can't find the words on this. A show play, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Were you still as shy? Or are you still finding your voice?
I've never been like a big group person. I guess that would have been the thing at 10, 11.
What do you mean a big group person?
Well, I probably don't thrive best in a big group. I mean, most of my friends, they're like, smaller groups. So I was finding my voice, and it's where I feel at home. So at the Caribbean restaurant, I was just loved it there. It's my family, and, I felt really at home. That's where I learnt really good Caribbean accent as well. Really honed it,
Yeah.
And, it was a great place to like to be able to grow up and to be able to just be quiet and be at the back and not be too, not to be pushed down any route. Everyone was there to find themselves.
And also you've got that hub of Stratford East, which is very well known for being like a hive of activity.
Yeah. Yeah, we grew up there. And I guess as soon as I left college, when the funding was still in existence, 10 of us got sent to Amsterdam to work with 10 Dutch youngsters as well. And we put on these plays in these shipping containers, which was incredible. I don't know, again, many actors who have that on their CV. In October, in a very cold Dutch field, in a shipping container. We had the wind one, so it's earth, wind, fire and water. But it was just amazing. Over 10 days, we built this play from nothing. And those are the kind of things that really set you on your path.
Yeah.
And just working with the Dutch practitioners, just amazing the way they work. It's so all-encompassing. We just used to turn up at 6, try and put something together, leave at 8, and maybe not turn up next week. Whereas for them, it's like yoga from 10 and then working on your body and eating very minimally at lunch and carrying on. And it's just a lot more of a lifestyle over there. And so by the time we came back, all of us were like, no, I'm too serious now to even maybe go back to youth theatre where some people
was that quite inspirational then to go there and see how other people were training?
Yeah, and it was incredible. For all of us, it really made us the adults we are, whether we're still acting or not. Someone's gone into business, and we've all used that trip. My friend's now an amazing father of 2. He's not an actor, but he still talks back to that trip and how much he learnt as a man. So even things like that, and that was funded. And then the year after, we got invited back, 3 of us, to like build on what we'd done last year. But of course, the funding was like, well, you've done it before, so you can't do it again. You think, oh, that's one way to cultivate talent, isn't it? And so we fundraised. I think we did a 10-hour improvisation at the Theatre Royal, all over the gaff. And
a 10-hour improvisation, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when I think back, a lot of it was just us in the top room and me thinking, no one's watching this, but so we could just stop and have a break. That's improv. But we didn't. We did carry on. Then we took it to the front window of the theatre, so it was like Amsterdam, just a load of actors in a window begging for money. And then Murray Melvin at the theatre, he's a pillar of that place. Him and Mary funded us like the last bulk of money. But again, these are the people without these little, these big generous things. I don't know if we'd all be where we are now and able to really know. And so when we're talking about my confidence, after I've come back from something like that in Amsterdam, I really knew that I've got some weight now, if you like, behind this. I know that I can do this. I know I can go from 0 to the stage at the end. And yeah.
And I hate to use the phrase life experience, but it sounded like something that you started to grow from.
Yeah, and thinking about it, we were all just youngsters from East London, so I'd never travelled. I didn't go on holiday until last year. I've never had a proper. Oh, you look so worried. Just for the podcast, he looks like he's about to cry.
You never had
the things I've told him today, and that's the bit.
Tell me,
we just take a break now.
You never had a holiday?
No.
Or you never went abroad?
What's the difference?
Well, you must have had a holiday, Holly.
What, like Butlins?
Like anything, like a break.
No, not really. We'd go to my auntie's, but that's family. No,
you didn't go on holiday as a family?
No, we went on one caravan trip, which is still to this day just flipping. Gavin and Stacey couldn't write it. It's just
Is it horrendous?
Yeah, but it was also the funniest time because the worse things get, I think, the more you laugh about it. It's very British, that holiday. But yeah, no, didn't. So for us, like it was, and my friend Dwayne, I was just talking about, he still talks about just plucking us all out of that and putting you in Amsterdam, which is an amazing hub as well, similar to London in that sense. All the young people we're working with are really diverse. And yeah, when would we have got that opportunity to do that? So it's really important, and it made us who we are.
Where did you go on your first holiday? Portugal. Whereabouts?
It was down to me to pick, and I picked like the Blackpool of Portugal.
What do you mean the Blackpool of Portugal?
Well, everything, there's omelettes only omelettes.
Nobody
available.
knows what an omelette is in Blackpool. Trust me.
Okay.
You know I'm from Blackpool.
Oh shit! Sorry. I like Blackpool.
I
but
don't.
Everyone's. Oh right. Well, actually, that was my first holiday. Actually, Blackpool.
Blackpool was your
with
first
my best
holiday.
Mate, yeah.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
Yeah, and my friend got racially abused, but it wasn't by a Blackpoolian. It was by someone visiting.
Probably from
Sorry,
Preston.
did you think this was going to be a...
Probably from Preston.
Oh, yeah.
No offence, Preston.
Motherfucker, he missed his train that night.
And it's Blackpudlian, not Blackpudlian.
Is it Blackpudlian?
No, Blackpudlian.
Oh,
Let's
sorry, mate.
Just get that all sorted
Shit.
right now. It's a bit like that, isn't it? You know, I can slag it off, but you can't slag it
Yeah,
off.
no,
type of thing.
absolutely, fair
You
enough.
can say what you like about that, but no, I have to.
Well, that's what someone else coined it. Just because I know basically we just didn't have any good food there. Everything was sort of fried. And everywhere else on the island was beautiful and lovely.
That hasn't changed, don't worry.
Yeah, just a lot of Brits.
Get yourself to Lisbon.
Yes, exactly. I just saw a load of British people fighting. I don't even see that where I come from. I was like, oh, bugger. Sorry, mate, I've brought us to the wrong bit of the island. That's terrible when you go somewhere gorgeous and you go, oh, I'm just immersed in this beautiful country and I'm in this amazing city or I'm in the countryside, and then all you hear is like northern accents or English accents. Like, you're taking me out of there. Well, my favourite thing,
we'd go
for a walk down the strip and we'd see, it's just a beautiful sight, see two big English couple sat there having fish and chips about 7 p.m, looking out at the sea but watching the One Show on the big screen in the bar, because the bar knows what they're doing, just like give them what they want, give them the One Show. And we'd say thank you in Portuguese and they'd instantly go into speaking fluent, and we're like, oh no, that's all we know. But just because we've made the smallest effort,
but they like
assume
a bit of effort.
Yeah,
it's like when you're in Italy, not so much in Paris. I always feel a bit of an idiot, you know, when you try and speak a bit of French and then they go, you're welcome. And you go, oh, right, okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Made me
cheers,
feel
mate.
very, very small now.
Yeah.
So where were we? Where are we now? So you got your agent from your do-it-yourself showreel that you'd penned.
And I'd got into the very, very last episode of The Bill, which was my dream at the time.
Done it, ticked.
Right, I can die happy now. But every resume I'd ever seen, that was what they were called when I was always Googling them growing up, resumes.
Yeah, resume?
Yeah.
Too much
they all had the bill.
You, Holly.
Me, yeah, I suppose so. What was that, or The Bill, I guess. But no, I loved The Bill growing up. Me and my dad's show.
Was that your first telly?
Yeah, first ever job, yeah. Small part, like 1 minute in each episode, but it was the very, very last episode ever, and met some great young people on that as well. Yeah, that was great. I've always wanted, I wanted that on my CV because every British actor had it on there. But and then met Piers through that, and yeah, it's been great since then. I'm just really proud that it's been the work I've been doing has developed and.
And do you feel you've been growing and learning as a person? Yeah,
definitely. And sometimes it is the bad times as an actor, so the time off or the lower times. I think it's all useful and needed, even if you can't see it at the time. Because as an actor, you have to be living. If you're not living, you're not going to be any good at your job. So just making friends with the time off and finding things that you are apart from acting, which is hard.
But by your own admission, you find it very hard not doing what you want to be doing. Mm-hmm. And how do you deal with that? Because are you one of those that, right, well, I'll go and do something else very, very quickly to block out the fact that I'm not doing something that I should be doing or that I want to be doing?
I'm getting better at filling my time. But I struggle with, I couldn't go off and say do a writing course for 40 weeks and pay £500 for that. And then you get an audition the next day and you have to miss that day.
Of course.
There's no courses that you can, that's a real struggle. But I guess fitness, so whenever you can fit that in, it helps, whether it's cycling, swimming, yoga, whatever. Cooking,
that helps mentally as well, the exercise to deal with any sort of dark times that you might have.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, you're your own worst enemy sometimes when it comes to that.
Yeah, definitely. And it is about, having those, you can't work consistently. Well, you can, but even some of the top actors don't. Of course, they have money behind them that will help them with the 6 months off.
Right.
But still, if you're an actor through and through, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you still want to get that next good role.
Yeah, and being creative and sort of getting out your system.
Yeah, so whatever it is that you like doing, I like cooking a lot more nowadays because I like eating, so helps to... But it's just, filling your time and also being happy in the day, but also kind of keeping it, because, I might get a voiceover job like that, or you've got to be kind of present and there, even if you're out of work, so to speak. You've got to be ready for the next. And when you are in work, just like that, you're in and it's off, and you've got to be fit enough and everything to to do it. So, yeah, so in the time off, it's not letting yourself fall down that.
How do you deal with auditions? Are you good in that environment?
In the room, you mean?
Yeah, well, the lead up and the aftermath is kind of quite important.
I think I'm quite good at learning lines, luckily. Like, that's a skill, hopefully, that doesn't take me too long to get them in there.
Well, you need to now, because obviously you need to learn things a lot. You know, you didn't need to... You never used to have to do that.
Really? How come?
Well, you would know it quite well, but you would hold the pages and you would occasionally sort of glance down when you needed to, so you would have this, the security blanket of the page. Yeah,
I still do that, I think, and try and have that confidence in a room with a casting director, so they know that you're not being lazy. But also, it is sometimes, if you've only had the night to even put that paper down, it's just like, oh shit, I think it's all gone now. Whereas even if it's just on my lap, likelihood is I won't look at it. But just having that comfort and security and the confidence to know that this casting director knows you're good at this. So, how you can't expect someone sometimes to learn it that quickly and be good at it as well, because you don't want to just be sat there remembering. I've seen myself do that on self-tapes. I'm like, you were just remembering lines there.
Remembering lines.
Not
That's
acting.
kind of what I was meaning. It's like it's hard to come in with a fully formed character if you're just sort of trying to remember your lines.
Yeah.
What's that? It's just two different things.
Yeah, I loved being in the room, and I felt like I was getting really good at that. And then self-tapes swept in, and I think they're really bad, personally.
Why do you think they're bad?
Well, aren't we the first generation? Obviously, this is like, oh, poor us, so hard done by. But we must be the first generation of actors who have to, direct the whole damn thing, like set up your whole situation, your every department, basically. Luckily, my brother comes in and sets up our camera, and he knows how to do all that, while I'll be doing costume and makeup and the learning lines and trying to work on that bit. And then you shoot it, then you have to watch it back immediately and critique it and go, have I done everything I want to do? I just don't think...
Do you watch it back?
Yeah. Yeah, just for like eye lines. Because I'll see if I've... that wasn't what I thought it was. I thought I was conveying more. I won't obsess over it, but I watch it back just so I know what I'm sending off.
Yeah.
But I think that's just... I think it's soul-destroying. I feel like... And we're right in the first mix of it now. So I've had some like breakdowns early on with self-tapes. It's just a horrible thing to do. Then you have to bring in someone which can be hard because it might be a mum or whatever. And it's kind of like this is our life, and it's nice to take it to a room somewhere and sit down opposite someone else who's in on it. And if they fluff a line, it's fine because they're the casting director. It's still going on tape. No one cares. But if my brother fluffs a line, it's one of those little things where you're like, oh shit, we can't send that off. So you have to obsess over it because it's all on you. And yeah, I just think it's a bit of a mindfuck, really.
And once you've done those, or you've come out of a room, are you good at letting it go?
Yeah, I think you have to be. And exams, I always remember feeling the same. You'd get out into the playground and everyone's like, what did you put for B? Oh no, I put organic rock. I was going to say igneous. Oh shit.
There you go, it's all coming back.
I didn't see that coming. Igneous rock. Oh God, I've wasted in this career.
You did learn lots in school, Holly.
Yeah, I did. I'm in the wrong career now, I've just realised. But yeah, even with that, I was like, what's the point of us doing this now? You're all stressing. You can't go back in and change it. Genuinely, why are we even discussing it? Let's play. Tag, you're it.
That's a very healthy thing to sort of let go of something when you've had quite an intense, possibly sort of less than 24 hours to throw something down.
Yeah.
And then that's a freeing thing. That's excellent, because sometimes people go, it takes a long time to learn that. Or it may never happen,
Yeah, I think it does come back from that exam. I just remember being one of the only kids in the playground who wasn't obsessing over what we've just done, because it's done. Maybe I didn't care enough. But yeah, with this, I try not to obsess, because I'm really happy if I've been seen for something. That's it. That's sort of all I want. And then you see something and go, oh no, they were meant to get it.
I know why now.
Yeah. I would have given her the job too. I rarely see something and go, oh no, I should have done that better. But if I see something that I could have gone up for and didn't, that's when I'm upset. Because at least if I'm in the running, then yeah, that's great. That's all you can ask for, really.
And even though you're still relatively young.
Cheers, mate.
You're welcome.
Pay you later.
Thank you. Slides £20 over table.
And then another 20 for insulting Blackpool.
There you go. It's a win-win situation. Has there been any times where you've gone, oh, God, I've put my heart and soul into all of this and I'm not sure if I want to carry on?
I suppose lately I've lost the will for anything. That sounds so dramatic. But just I think it does get really difficult. And
in what way? Why do you mean lately?
Well, just it seems so limbo. I've had some great jobs recently, but also a bloody lot of time off to think where's the next job. And a lot of my friends, everyone's doing amazing stuff at the moment, and that's both inspiring. I don't think I've got a jealous bone in my body. I could be envious and go, oh fuck, I'd love to be doing that right now. And it doesn't help when you're not doing anything, but also it shows you, no, it can be done. So it's nice to see your friends winning. But I just think the more time that goes on, life's just harder, and I'm like sole breadwinner, so yeah, I have to be on it in the toughest industry in the land. So yeah, I think it's not letting those thoughts get to you as well, though, because they're destructive. And to be honest, we've made love to the fear already, so it's like, what you gonna do? That's our life. Whereas some people, you'd lose a job on Friday, and by Tuesday you're, racking, what am I going to do with my life? Which I get. To a lot of people, they don't have to live with our constant fear of, you'll get a job, you're excited about the job, shot the job, the job's done. Oh, okay, cool.
Does the worry ever come into that?
Into what?
Into, the excitement of getting something, and then, because I know some people go, I've got it, I'm really excited. Oh God, now I've actually got to do it.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there is that. But I'm so excited. Like, I just love to get my teeth into whatever. So I love the whole thing of it. So the moment you arrive on set, people are always pretty great in our industry because we're all quite happy to be doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's not like maybe a lot of offices, or my friend's office anyway, where they've always just got something to gripe about. Whereas we kind of love doing what we're doing. What we do is so short-lived, and you need to make sure you get the next one. So everyone's sort of, enjoying what they do. And it's like a crazy travelling circus, our set life, isn't it? And crazy bunch of loons involved, which I love. I'm just so grateful and happy once I've got the job to just get on with it, to be honest. And that's testament to the jobs I have got as well. They're not just work. We need to get work, but they've been really good jobs, and ones I'm excited to do and proud to be part of. So,
well, even though you haven't had a great time of late, you sound pretty positive to me. So,
thanks.
Keep staying positive.
Yeah,
lovely talking to you.
Oh, thank you, mate. Right back at you.
And another episode is done. She's so warm and enthusiastic, Holly. She's dead easy company, really lovely to talk to. So if you're listening, Holly, thank you so much for coming on the Two Shot podcast. And we made those dates work at last. It's always a big thing. Right, that's it, I think. We've got loads to do, loads more guests to sort out, and lots of episodes to bring you. And also we're trying to work on something to do for Christmas. I'm not sure, maybe some sort of Christmas party, maybe with a house band and some past Two Shot Pod guests. What do you think? Might be quite nice. Anyway, we're a long way to go. We've got loads of episodes before Christmas. So I'll see you next week for episode 61. Until then, I've been Craig Parkinson, he's been producer Griff, and this has been the Two Shot Podcast. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Take care. The Two Shot Podcast is presented by me, Craig Parkinson, recorded and produced by Thomas Griffin for Splicing Block. Our brilliant music is courtesy of Then Thickens. Cheers.